Welcome once again to the Success Magnet Network. We are so excited to have Jenn Seeger join us today. She is a financial coach, a business coach. I mean, she knows everything about technology when it comes to how to structure your business. So she's so valuable as an elite success magnet coach because anybody can learn from Jenn. And she's so humble. She's constantly learning more and more to be able to share that with other people. So, welcome to the program, Jenn, and we're looking forward to hearing your insights. So, Jenn, what initially inspired you to create Cabo Jenn? I mean, what a unique website that is.
Oh, thank you. So, well, I basically I built cabogen.com really to kind of bring together free resources for people to help them basically create a life that they don't need a vacation from, really. Um, so I really wanted to combine my areas of expertise. So whether it's, helping somebody strengthen their finances, market and grow their business, or even if they're interested in, potentially living in Mexico, moving to Cabo, I put resources there that really will help people take that first step. So basically, it's kind of combining all of my areas of passion into one place.
Oh, yeah, because that can be mind-blowing if you're deciding that you want to now shift to moving overseas. Mexico, Cabo is a beautiful place. How do you start? So that's kind of how you came in. But you've realized along the way, I know you have a great bio. You have achieved so many remarkable things, even in college. I mean, we're not going to delve down too deeply because I'm excited that people can contact you and get to know you better. And then, of course, that you can help them in different areas of their life. But what does freedom really mean to you when it comes to your life?
Yeah, I guess I think it's probably different for everyone, but like freedom to me is basically being able to live where I want to live, travel um when I want to travel. And then most importantly, I think it's having, the time that I want in order to spend with loved ones. So kind of those three things as far as, being able, I love having um being able to work from wherever. So that is a big thing for me. But obviously, in order to achieve those three things, you have to be very strategic in how you build your business and structure your finances in order to, you know, achieve that level of freedom.
Right. And so you've actually you have a financial services company
Mm-hmm.
and you're helping people with their long-term finances, with tax-free planning, all of that. When you kind of refer to yourself as a freedom business and financial coach, how is that different than your everyday, like old school financial advisor?
Yeah, well, first, I think obviously most of those professionals are one or the other. But my focus is really to help people, build businesses and grow their finances in a way that helps them, achieve the lifestyle that they want. And you know, I guess I always like to say my goal is to help my clients become wealthy, which really, there's, as far as what wealthy is, that really is very different for every single person. So what I like to help them do is, you're wealthy when you can live like you live today, um, you know, adjusted for inflation, like basically continue to live your lifestyle that you have today, adjusted for inflation, and have that money last, um, you know, until your life expectancy. So that amount of money or monthly, income that's required is different for everybody. For some people, that could be 5,000 a month, and they're wealthy because they can continue, how they live today into the future, adjusted for inflation, and never run out of money. So that for me is an exciting thing in order to help people achieve their version of wealthy, so that they know that they're never going to run out of money. So part of that is really like, what I like to do first is really model where somebody currently is, and then really answer, kind of the four most important financial questions. So people need to know, what rate of return do I need to earn on my money in order for it to last to life expectancy? How much, do I need to save on a monthly, annual basis in order for my money to last? How much longer would I have to work, right? In order to make that work. Or if I don't do any of those three things, how much am I going to have to reduce my standard of living in order to make it work? So that's something that's, kind of unique as far as like what I do for people, because I can answer those four questions in
Mhm.
under 30 minutes.
Yes. And that's a
Um,
lot of calculating. I think it's a lot of mathematics that people
yeah,
don't really do on an everyday basis. And you're calculating, you're using technology. How do you
right.
use technology to achieve that and to really visualize how you can provide that peace of mind and plenty of money? I like to call that pom pom, peace of mind,
Yeah.
plenty of money, for your clients.
So I have kind of a unique software. It's this financial GPS software that
Mm.
basically we input all of, the every aspect of your finances. And that's done, like I said, in 15 minutes or less. And then that software allows me to quickly answer those four questions once all the data's in. So then I just think it's so powerful, because then people really know, okay, well, this is my current situation, and what do I need to adjust in order to, hit my goals and be able to, you know, achieve my version of wealthy. And, so yeah, it's
Right. I feel like a lot of times people put off the idea of going to a financial advisor because it's kind of like how you never want to go to the dentist because you think it's going to hurt.
right.
Uh, because they think, oh, I'm going to go there. Then they're going to ask me to come back for another meeting. Then they're going to ask me to come back for another meeting. Then they're going to ask me to come back for another meeting. How do you mitigate that so that you can get them the knowledge that they need, like as soon as they possibly can? Do you have a system whereby uh, you know, someone can have a pretty decent idea what they're up against, even when they're first meeting with you.
So you're saying, explain the question again. So you're
I'm
saying,
just saying that, like, I think a lot of times people think, oh, I'm going to get myself involved with a financial advisor. First of all, they're going to charge me fees. They're going to ask me to come back to their office. And then it's going to
oh,
take a long time. It's going to take a lot of my time
yeah,
because time is money.
right.
How do you, help people to get through this in a way that it's not painful, like going to the
Yeah.
dentist?
So exactly. So just kind of like what I just explained. So I offer what I call a free financial GPS session,
Yeah.
and where we'll meet on Zoom, and in 30 minutes, we can enter all of the information in, and in 30 minutes, they'll have their answers, and I give it to them in a report. So they'll have a PDF emailed to them, as
Mhm.
well as kind of a one-page financial snapshot that summarizes what all of our inputs
Mhm.
were, so that they quickly are going to know exactly where they stand.
Right. And can you and so they can understand where they are
Mm-hmm.
you able to then provide like a tentative solution
Yeah.
also that say,
So
hey, this is what we're going to do now. This is our next step.
right. So that would be the second meeting, where
Right.
basically I'm taking their current scenario and then kind of cloning that scenario and making different tweaks that can help them increase their amount of um, income or future tax-free income, and really show them how they can optimize their current scenario without affecting their current lifestyle. So that would
Awesome.
happen in the second meeting, which there's no charge for that either. So I just
Oh,
love to be able to, you know, help to educate people, because I think, a lot part of, you know, people just, a lot of people just are kind of told, like, they just are, money under, like, just go with an investment advisor, and they're just all focused on, trying to reallocate and get that higher return. But I just love to be able to educate on just different types of accounts that will give them the most amount of benefits, as well as, protection from market downside and that type of stuff. So
Mhm.
that's all part of like the second meeting, where we can kind of explore options that,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
may make sense in their situation.
So, do you ever find that people come to you like they're overwhelmed? They just don't even want to think about it. They just want to hand it all to you. You know, you're my
Right.
solution. And so you're saying that you're creating their plan for them. And then what happens then after their plan is created? How do they continue to keep in touch with you, or, from year to year? What does that look like for your
Yeah,
clients?
so on the finance side, we'd be meeting once a year, and I also have this software that I like to call the spending game, that basically has all of the assets kind of like in one place, and we're able to basically then update those figures, and based off of what's transpired over the last year, in order to see, are we on track? Do things need to be tweaked? But yeah, so every year there's an annual review, and um, there's no
Oh,
charge.
good. So they get a real-time update on everything that's happening with their finances and their
Yeah.
future and their income and all the different aspects to their. Is it kind of like in the realm of retirement planning more so than just, or do you work with people for, regular investing and then also retirement planning, or what's
No,
the mix
I'd
there?
say it's definitely more focused on retirement planning, and most importantly, I think a lot of advisors, the focus is just on kind of accumulation, right? But there's a whole
Mhm.
what's when it comes to, once you have saved your money, it really is developing a good distribution strategy, and which accounts should you spend down in what order, in order to mitigate taxes and maximize your income. And so that is a that's more of my specialty, where in this spending game we can see, well, okay, if we, spend down this account first versus that account, and see, okay, does it, in what order should things be spent down in order to maximize how long your money lasts.
Right. And what's the tax implication there?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I mean, that's the thing. For the everyday person, they're expert at what they do. They might be a truck driver, they might be a rocket scientist, they might be a physician, whatever, that they're so good at that thing that it's hard for them to a lot of times wrap their brain around, what do I need to do to implement retirement, when having that peace of mind is not anxiety instead.
Right.
uh, it's huge. So I think I've been to your website actually, with the Cabo Gen, and it's got so many different resources on there. I feel like there's a way that people can go to Cabo Gen and actually
Mhm.
request the GPS.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
right?
So,
Okay.
if you go to, yeah, cabogen.com, there's a tab called free resources, or all of my free resources are at cabogen.com/free. And that's everything. So you'll be able to request the financial GPS session. You can, I have a weekly retirement GPS workshop every week that they can register for. And there's just, all kinds of resources there,
Wow.
as far as to support people in finances, business, and all of the stuff related to Cabo, living in Mexico, so
Yeah, so that's why it's called Cabo. And Jen, by the way, is spelled Jenn. So if you're
yes.
just listening to this or seeing this for the first time, and you're like, okay, Cabo Jen, Cabojen. No, it's got two N's.
Yes, two
So
ends.
they're twins, twin N's on the end of her name. And you can remember that by thinking to yourself, we're in the team together, we've got one N for her, one N for you. And basically you're going to be able to listen to everything that Jen has to offer, and the advice and the technology behind it, which I want to delve into a little bit as well. You can't create that on your own. And that is something that is very strategic in the financial services industry. And it takes expertise and licensure to be able to even operate that kind of technology. So we've talked a lot about, the illustrations that you create and everything. Now I want to talk a little bit about your expertise in helping people from a business standpoint, because I know that you help people with their finances for retirement planning. That's individual, but don't people also come to you for, okay, I want to, my business needs to be tweaked here or there, and you have all kinds of certifications in AI and building out websites. And I don't know, you tell me. I'm not the expert on this.
Yes. Well, on the business side of things, well, there's a couple things. So I would say probably one of the biggest struggles, entrepreneurs, people that are trying to grow a business, they the technology can be very overwhelming, and then they end up with maybe 5 different types of tools that don't necessarily talk to one another. So they have MailChimp for their email, Calendly for their appointments, WordPress for their website, and Kajabi for their courses. And they end up where things are obviously very fragmented and the systems are not talking to one another. And in order to get them to talk to one another, you have to be a tech expert with something called Zapier. So people just end up, it gets very, frustrating and that kind of thing. So one of the things that I offer is an all-in-one marketing platform that does everything. So it's called the Freedom Biz Hub, and it does email and website and funnels and courses and monthly member, whatever, processes payments, invoices, everything that you need in order to scale a successful business. So I would say you have to have the right tools. So really understanding like what your current tech stack is and how you can actually, save money by having maybe one tool. So there's that. The second thing that I developed is called the Freedom Business Blueprint, that really is a 3-phase process to help, coaches, consultants, professional service providers to grow a successful business. So the first phase is kind of the foundation phase, which is what I have included in the Success Magnet app. So people are going to be able to really get clear on what's their dream client profile, what's their magnetic message, and really all of their branding essentials. So it's like you have to have those foundational pieces before you start all the marketing or install the systems, so yeah, I would say Freedom Business Blueprint, so you can get clear on what your steps are. Because I think that's a lot of whether it's building a business or building finances, that a lot of the problem is you don't know what steps should you be following that are going to give you the fastest success. So I developed the blueprint. I have an accelerator program to help people that want kind of assistance to do all the tech side of things. What was I going to tell you? Oh, and the other big thing in building a business, I think my focus isn't necessarily on how to generate the most money when it comes to just trading time for dollars. My focus in working with people is to help them have scalable products that they can, meaning they can make unlimited amounts of income without having to work more hours, so that is what creates freedom. So whether that's a course, a monthly membership community or app, a group coaching program, really, really being strategic in your offers so that you have a business that doesn't just burn you out, so
Mm.
that's my
Wow.
focus.
I mean, I'm in. I need all of your services. Wow. Um, no, but I mean, just as an entrepreneur myself and just everything that I've gone through to help build Success Magnet and everything, it's just, there's so many moving parts. And if you don't
Mhm.
have that technology person, just to tell you, hey, don't do that first, do that second, or whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
just like you said, the blueprint, it has to be go in order. And
right.
and sometimes it's a miracle worker that can come in and say, let's take all these moving parts and let's let them talk to each other. And so that you're not going from one system to another and just burning your time doing
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
Because there's a lot of time too, if you build in the wrong systems to then have to move systems, it's
mm-hmm,
where
mm-hmm,
where if you just made the smart decision to build in the right system that can scale and grow and eliminate tech headaches, you end up saving a lot of, well, definitely time that is money. You know
time
what I mean?
and
So
money. Yeah.
mhm.
Tech headaches.
Yes.
That's a good terminology, tech headache.
Yeah.
Uh, wow. So I am so grateful that you're part of our elite coaches, Jen, because I know that whenever I ask you something, that you're going to be at the tip top of technology and you can take somebody's model and make it more efficient and in so many different ways. So really, I think in talking to you before, I know that you're a person that likes to visualize where am I going to be in 5 years from now? You
Mhm.
know, what if someone are listening today and they want more freedom over the next 5 years, what is this next step that they ought to take? I think it's kind of obvious, but please tell us why you compared to all those other voices out there.
Yeah. Well, I think as far as the first step that anybody needs to take in order to, you know, really work towards freedom is they need to start by visualizing exactly where they want their life, their lifestyle, their life, their business, and their finances to be in 5 years. And really get clear on that. So that is one of the free resources I created. It's the 5 year freedom worksheet. So that's one of the first items that's up at the top on my website under free resources. And it's a 1 page downloadable that just helps you get clear on, okay, where do I want to get? And then it's going to help you with how then to reverse engineer in order to, to achieve those goals. I guess I just would say, don't wait until retirement to start creating freedom in your life. So,
Right.
and I'm definitely big on, if it's that whole saying, if you fail to plan to fail, that goes with your business and your
Mm-hmm.
finances. So I love first getting clear on what the
Mm-hmm.
targets are so that then you can really develop a plan in order to achieve not only the money, but it is the freedom. That's what we all want.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I know, Jen, you're a gifted leader. You're loved by so many people. You really give your heart to anything that you do, and is off the charts. So I want to thank you so much for being part of our Success Magnet Elite Coaches. And yes, as members, you get access to Jen. I mean, let's get everybody up leveled. There's things in your life that Jen can solve. That's all I have to say about that.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Jen,
much,
for being with
Lorette.
us
I'm so
today.
excited to be a part of this.
Yeah, very good. Take care.